Ve arkadaşlar zaman zaman zaten dışarıya çıkıyoruz, giriyoruz. İlk gün olması itibariyle konuşmalar, protokol konuşmalarımız da vardı. O nedenle biraz sarktık. Daha tempolu gidelim isterseniz. Ve o arayı şimdilik ödül töreni öncesinde kısa bir ara olarak sarkıtalım. Ve İspanya Ligi, LALIGA pazarlama stratejileri biliyorsunuz dünyanın en önemli liglerinden, belki de iki liginden biri Premier Lig'de yarışıyor. Rusya, Hindistan ve Orta Doğu pazarlama şefi Sayın Guillermo HEREDIA. Doğru pronunciation'ım. Evet, alkışlarınızla çok genç bir arkadaşımız geliyor. Guillermo or Guillermo?
That's right.
That's right.
Guillermo HEREDIA.
Guillermo,
Thank you very much.
okay. Please. Evet, biliyorsunuz şöyle baktığım zaman 2018 Ballon d'Or ödül adaylarından 30 futbolcudan 14'ü La Liga'da oynuyor. Kimler? Modric, Griezmann, Messi, Varane, Suarez, Courtois, Bale, Benzema, Rakitic, Ramos, Marcelo, Oblak, Godin, Isco. Bütün bu isimler La Liga'da oynuyor. Yayın gelirleri dağılımı açısından havuz sistemine geçtikten sonra da çok ciddi bir gelir artışı söz konusu. Ama birinci sırada Barcelona'yı görüyorum, 150 milyon avro. Son sıradaki Malaga 62 milyon avro. Edinilen bilgilere göre aradaki fark sadece 3 katı. Bu da yarışma açısından çok önemli. Ama az önce de söylediğim gibi La Liga Premier Lig'le bir şekilde yarışıyor. Guillermo'ya sormak istiyorum. La Liga'nın en önemli özelliği ne? Premier Lig'in en önemli özelliği ne bu yarışta?
Well, first of all, thank you for the organization, for inviting La Liga to be here and everyone who made possible this event. The question you are asking, obviously both La Liga and the Premier League are really strong leagues. We are actually working towards being the league with the highest revenues that right now is Premier League, so obviously they are doing really good strategies on top of that, right? So on the sporting side, we can proudly say that we are the best league in the world. I'm going to explain it out in the presentation, that we have the best clubs and the best players according to objective data, not just because we say it. And then on the economic side, the Premier League started before us doing it really well. As you mentioned already, the TV collective sale, they did it before us, so they are earning way more than we do right now. But we are working on reducing the gap between the clubs, as you say, Barcelona and Malaga, for instance, in this case, and increasing the revenue for all the clubs in La Liga.
Peki Ronaldo gittikten sonra Real Madrid ile Barcelona arasındaki bir başka boyutuyla Messi-Ronaldo arasındaki rekabet nereye doğru evrildi, nereye doğru gitti?
Well, I believe the competition is still really good even after Cristiano Ronaldo left. The golden ball this year is Luka Modric, so we can say that the best players are still in La Liga. Obviously, Cristiano was a really good player, really good one with 4 or 5 golden balls, so nobody can deny that. But it doesn't mean that La Liga loses value because Cristiano is out of La Liga, that suddenly La Liga is not as good anymore.
Peki, çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Alkışlarla bir enerji veriyoruz konuğumuza ve de mikrofonu ona bırakıyoruz. Please.
Do you have the presentation? Thank you very much. Well, in these 20 minutes that I have, I'm going to try to explain what's La Liga's international development. I've already mentioned a couple of things that are going to be in the slides now. This is not, now it's working. So the presentation is going to be divided basically on how we perform on the pitch and how we perform off the pitch. In this presentation, it's more important how we do off the pitch, as this is the business side. It's going to be divided into 2 stages. So what happened since Javier Tebas arrived in 2013 and how we perform nowadays, how the strategy changed since Javier Tebas arrived in 2013. So La Liga on the pitch. Just let me have 1 minute, couple of minutes of bragging a little bit about ourselves, as we had the opportunity already before. We can say that we have the best clubs playing in La Liga. As I said before, it's not because it's my opinion, it's because we won more European titles than any other league. We have Madrid and Barcelona as the main ones, but that doesn't mean it's just a league of two teams. We have others like Sevilla, Atletico Madrid, Valencia, or also Zaragoza winning European titles. It's not only the clubs, but also the players. So we know that Messi and Ronaldo, they've won 9 golden balls in a row, but also, for instance, this year, Luka Modric, also playing in La Liga, won the golden ball. Again, it's not just about Messi and Ronaldo. When we take into consideration how many nominees La Liga had for the golden ball, half of them play at La Liga. So it's not just 2 or 3 players. So the objective for us is we are the best on the pitch. We have to translate that also onto off the pitch. And this is what I'm going to try to explain how we do it. So 2013, Javier Tebas, our president, arrived, and he had 3 main pillars. He wanted to focus on the economic situation, the centralization of the TV rights, and to fight against piracy and match fixing. I'm going to focus on the first 2 especially, but the third one is also very important because just imagine the amount of money that broadcasters are paying. If you can get the same content elsewhere for free, then it suddenly loses value what they are paying. Therefore, they would pay less, and we wouldn't be able to pay that amount of money to our clubs, and they can use it for sign-ins and pay debts and so on. So this is something that we are actually proactively fighting against. In regards to the economic situation, just imagine when in 2013, the amount of the debt that the clubs had was 650 million euros. That's only the debt that the clubs had with public authorities. Then there were also other debts with other clubs, with players, and so on. So that was the first pillar that Tebas focused on, and it was imposed a financial fair play, which is even harder than the UEFA financial fair play. The UEFA financial fair play is what it's called ex post. So once the problem happens, then you try to solve it, then you put some sanctions and so on. We have another financial fair play measure, which is called ex ante. That means we take into consideration what is the income of the clubs, what is the expenses of the clubs, and then we tell them how much money they can spend in that season. Therefore, we try to avoid the problem before it even happens. And with this measure, we were able to reduce the debt in a couple of years to 50%, as you can see there. And the objective is to have a debt of less than 50 million euros by 2020. Nowadays, we are around less than 90 million euros. Collective TV sale, which is really important, as he already mentioned before. Before 2015, the different clubs, they went individually to the market. They had to sell their matches individually. And when you sum the different amounts that they got, it was around 840, 860 million euros. What Javier Tebas managed to do in 2015 was an agreement with the government where we are the ones commercializing the rights on behalf of La Liga, on the first and second division, the 42 clubs that we have at La Liga. And this shows how much it increased the value of our TV revenues. If you can see in 2015, there are like 2 increasements. It's because it actually started over here for the national and international market when we went up to almost 1,700 million euros. But 1 year before, we were able to start this royal decree on an international level. So that's why there is an increase here. When we say that it's very important for us, it's because this difference between 800 million to 1,000 millions that we are going to have now in the next tender already sold, starting next year, it's because this money is then redistributed for the clubs. Therefore, they are able to pay the debts that we mentioned before. They are able to hire better players. They are able to maintain the good players. And they are able to invest the money, for instance, on capacities, stadium capacities, facilities, and so on. So that's from 2013 at around 2016. Once the economic situation, once La Liga was stable, then we were able to grow. So we first needed to have a strong league, a healthy league, and then from that point, we were able to start thinking of going abroad. To start with this topic, I have a video. It's just a 1-minute video that explains perfectly what is La Liga nowadays.
How was Spain? It was great. The locals are a bit mad. They go crazy for football.
And they do the weirdest things to bring their team good luck. Kids sign up as club members before they can even walk. They'd rather be late for a wedding than miss a game.
And you know what? They don't just watch the game. They feel it.
People cry when they lose, but they cry even more when they win.
The most incredible thing, it's totally contagious. It's like when you watch a match,
Hey, vamos amigo!
you become one of them. That can't be football. That's got to be something else.
It had Turkish subtitles, but we were not able to see it. We need to understand that La Liga is passion, that we are way more than football. We are not in the football industry anymore. We are not even in the sports industry anymore. We are in the entertainment industry. We have to understand that we are competing for people's leisure time. So when any one of you are at home on a Saturday, Sunday evening, you decide whether to watch a movie on Netflix or HBO, whether to watch the Super League, whether to watch La Liga on another league, or even when we are in other countries, like for instance India, where cricket is the #1 sport, you're going to watch that one. So we need to understand that, first of all, we are in the entertainment industry, so we have way more competitors than we did before. And secondly, that we are not in the national market. In Spain, we know that we are the #1 choice, that when someone turns on the TV on a Saturday, Sunday, and they want to watch some kind of sports, they are going to watch La Liga. When we go international, we need to understand what sometimes football is not even the first option. Therefore, La Liga is way behind. So we have to fight, or we need to understand this situation and try to adapt it. So the strategy nowadays looks more or less like this. So we have an international strategy that I'm going to explain now a little bit in depth. We have a digital strategy that I have some examples as well. The TV and audience strategy, obviously to increase the TV revenues and the kickoff times that I'm going to talk about it later also, and to increase brand awareness and to improve the international communication. These are more or less the main pillars. To understand the importance of the international department, look how we are present today in the world. So before, the traditional way of growing of La Liga was building offices. The first one was in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. Then we opened offices in key markets for us, the US, China. We have also offices in India, in Singapore, in Brussels, Nigeria, South Africa, and Mexico. We have 10 offices in total. But we understood, La Liga understood, that we needed to grow bigger and faster, which is related to the question you did before, this gap with the Premier League. We needed to grow faster if we want to achieve their level on the economic side. And that's why Javier Tebas thought of this project called La Liga Global Network, where in 2017 we sent more than 40 people to everywhere in the country. Actually, we have 44 countries covered with physical presence to be able to understand how our fans consume La Liga, what they want from us, when they want it, how they want it, and where they want it. So, for instance, here in Turkey, we have physical presence with Mete Turkmenoglu, who is the responsible here in Turkey, based in Istanbul. Where you see there the 84 countries total scope, that means that we are now in conversations or projects in 84 countries. We have physical presence in 44, but then these people, they also have conversations with different countries that are nearby. Therefore, we are covering almost 90 countries worldwide. This is the importance of the international department. This is the organizational chart with Javier Tebas on top as the president of La Liga. Desarrollo Internacional, that's the international development. As you can see, this is the second largest department in La Liga. We need to have a big staff behind us in order to grow faster, bigger, and sustainable. If you can see, for instance, I started the presentation saying that this is since 2013. In 2013, we were 57 employees. Nowadays, we are over 550 employees. So we need to cover all the different departments because we don't work as silos. It's not that international development is working on one side, the digital strategy department on the other one. We all work together and we have to collaborate. That's why we have so many people working in La Liga. And we are continuously improving. Actually, we have a new department, Business Intelligence and Business Analytics, which is really important also to understand our fans. On the digital side, we work on a global strategy. I believe you are familiar with the term. So we have this common and easily recognizable message everywhere in the world, but then we adapt it culturally to the different markets. To give you an example, let's say, for instance, when Paulinho scored in El Clásico. If we post in Spain, we can say Paulinho, the Football Club Barcelona player, scored in El Clásico. If we have this same post in Brazil, we say Paulinho, the player from the Brazilian national team, scored at El Clásico. And when we go to China, we say Paulinho, the former Guangzhou Evergrande player, scored at El Clásico. This is an example of this global strategy, how with a little twist, we make more engaging the information we give to our fans. In 2016, in regards to how we are engaging to our fans, we only spoke Spanish and English in our social networks, in our social digital environment. In 2017, we increased the number of languages, and we included Chinese and Arabic. Look how it looks today in 2018. We have Russian, we have French, we have Bengali, Hindi, we have Danish, we have Portuguese as well, obviously, even Swahili or Pidgin, which is a language spoken in Nigeria. These are the social networks that we are present. So again, as I said before, when we have physical presence in the country, we are able to understand where our fans want us to be. So before we were in Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the main ones. In 2017, we understood that in Russia there is the main social network is VK, is Contacta. So we were the first international league opening a profile in VK. In the first year, the experts said that in the best case scenario, we were going to get around 100,000 users, followers in the first year. We are now, in 1 year, over 600,000 users. So this means that we took the right decision in opening in VK, the largest platform in Russia. But it didn't stop us. So now in 2018, we are also opening a lot of social networks, mostly for the Asian market, but also this one on the left, the orange one, that's OK, Odnoklassniki. That's the second largest social network in Russia. This is because we have these people in the markets that they know how our fans or where our fans want us to be. These are some examples of Turkey. So the type of content that works in Spain doesn't mean that it has to work here in Turkey or it has to work in Brazil or in any other part of the world. Therefore, we adapt it to what you want us to say. Some kind of posts that work really good here in Turkey is, for instance, ex-La Liga players who are now in Turkey, Quaresma, Soldado, and so on. It also works really good the other way around. Turkish players that are in La Liga, like, for instance, Okay from Celta, that he's going to speak later about it. And also personalized content. So these are just 3 examples. The first one is about a movie. You know it better than me. It's Captain Logar. There is something, they have like a famous sentence about a rocket approaching. You know it way better than me. It's Capitán Logar se acerca a un objeto no identificado. I don't know if you have the translation into Turkish. So we knew that this was kind of like a hype here in Turkey. Therefore, we have a video of a free kick where the ball was transformed into a rocket, and the post, or the copy of the post, was this famous sentence. Also, well, Nunred, also, and Enes Batur, an influencer here in Turkey, we invited him for the first round of La Liga. We invited only it was around 6 people to come and watch a match at La Liga on the first round. One of them was from Turkey, Enes Batur, because it's a key market for us, it's a strategic market for us. So fans could watch what it is to live La Liga game from the perspective of someone that you are more used to watch, like Enes Batur. TV. We are present nowadays in more than 180 countries. We have contracts with more than 80 broadcasters, 88 actually. And that is what makes us, first of all, what makes it possible to have more than 2,000 million euros of revenues in TV, because it's divided in both national and international. And secondly, that we are able to have different kickoff times. This is really important. Just to give you a fact, the 3rd team most watched in Japan last year was Eibar, thanks to the Japanese player Inui. If we were not able to have these different kickoff times so they can watch Eibar in Japan, that wouldn't happen. And we wouldn't be able to get as much revenues from TV, and therefore Eibar wouldn't have the same visibility in Japan, and they wouldn't be able to get sponsorship opportunities because they don't have the visibility. Therefore, these kickoff times where you can watch all the different games, in this case from First Division, the 10 games, you can watch all of them if you want it. That's important for La Liga fans, that's important for the clubs, and that's important for broadcasters as well, because they are able to cover the whole weekend with La Liga content. So just wrapping up all the different things that I've mentioned during the presentation, our objective is to increase the international presence. And we do it through different activations and events, both participating in events like this one or creating our own events, to be closer to our broadcasters and stakeholders. Here, for instance, in Turkey, we work with the Sportsnet, signing international sponsorship contracts, having activations, not only for ourselves, but also with our clubs. The institutional agreements are obviously very important. And to have this local market knowledge, in this case, through the delegate here in Turkey. The geolocalized digital strategies that I mentioned before. So when you get all these different activations that are taking part into different departments that we've seen before in the organizational chart, this is not just international development, that's a work of the 550 employees together, then we are able to increase the notoriety and the level of interest, both of La Liga and of our clubs. With this increasement of notoriety, with this increasement of level of interest, we are able to increase the TV audience, we are able to increase the digital audience. This is very useful when you go to different brands. It's not the same to go and say, I am the X club, whichever it is, or La Liga. We want this brand to be the sponsor, our partner, and you just say that you are the best league in the world. It's not the same to say just empty words than saying we have 800-something followers here, and this is how they are targeted. We have this age, and they are targeted in these places. You give way more data to sponsors when you have this digital audience studied. And in the end, all this level of interest and notoriety, what is translated, it's into increasing the international TV contracts and sponsorship opportunities, both for La Liga and for our clubs. That's it from my side. If you have any questions, I will be also, after the event, open to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
Evet, Guillermo'ya çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Guillermo, could you use translate sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evet, ya, ne kadar enteresan olduğunu görüyorsunuz değil mi arkadaşlar? La Liga dediğimizin karşılığı aslında bizde, yani İspanya Futbol Federasyonu değil, La Liga, Türkiye Süper Lig kulüpleri vakfı olarak da değerlendirebileceğimiz Kulüpler Birliği Vakfı'nın bir karşılığı. Yani 545 tane çalışanı var. Televizyon ve sosyal medyadaki La Liga'nın görünürlüğünü dünyada global olarak artırmaya çalışan. You hear me?
Yeah, well, La Liga, we are in charge of the professional football in Spain, which is first and second division, the 42 clubs, 20 in first division, 22 in second division.
Guillermo, şunu sormak istiyorum. La Liga evet çok önemli bir lig ama bu operasyon aynı zamanda var olduğu noktanın da üzerinde bir dünyada algı yaratmayı hedefliyor herhalde. Öyle değil mi? Pazarlama anlamında.
Sorry, didn't get the question.
La Liga çok önemli bir lig. Evet. Ama bu operasyon La Liga'nın var olduğu durumun da çok daha üzerinde bir algı yaratmak istiyor herhalde dünyada hedef kitle üzerinde.
So?
Yeah?
I don't have the same perception, but I will be glad to discuss it.
Evet. Yani bu çünkü çok önemli. Endüstri o kadar gelişmeye başladı ki değerli konuklar. Bir algı operasyonu, La Liga'nın ne kadar önemli bir lig olduğunu hepimiz biliyoruz. Dünyanın en önemli birkaç liginden birisi. Ama rakamlar o kadar fazla büyüdü ki o rakamları organize edebilmek için ciddi anlamda pazarlama teknikleri de gelişti tabii ki. Bu da işin tabii ki püf noktalarından birisi. Peki, şunu sormak istiyorum. Şöyle bir haber okuduk, doğru mu? İkinci La Liga YouTube'dan ikinci yarının ilk hafta maçlarını canlı yayınlayacak. Bu doğru mu?
No, Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah. Well, first of all, when you say that we show La Liga more than what it is, I think we need to measure and be able to measure what we are saying. So when it's not the same to, let's say for instance, Turkey. We are big in Turkey. What it is to be big in Turkey? Is it that we are big on social media? Is it that we have a really good deal with the TV rights? Is it that we have a lot of sponsors? So I think there are a lot of different factors that we have to take into consideration when we say either La Liga is here or here. It's not just what is here in the presentation, it's like a deeper analysis that we need in order to say that.
Tabii bunu sadece La Liga için söylemedim zaten. Premier Lig de bunu yapıyor, Bundesliga da bunu yapıyor. Yani orada bir özel La Liga sorusu değildi. Peki sevgili dostumuza ödülünü vermek için Bülent Ünder hocamızı buraya davet etmek istiyorum. Bülent hocam. Peki, Genel Sekreterimiz Alaaddin Bey'i davet ediyorum. Bülent hocamız geldi mi? Bülent hocam buyursunlar. You have a little bit present.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you.
Teşekkürler. Thank you very much for your information. Evet.